Taylor Greene may not be in Congress anymore, but her war with Donald Trump is far from over. In fact, it's escalating. Now, the Secret Service is actually going after her. Yes, you heard that right. Her newest leak, her latest attack on Trump, has him so rattled that the Secret Service is monitoring her every move. And the reason why is honestly hilarious. Of course, it all ties right back to Epstein. But before we get into the details of why the Secret Service is suddenly so interested in Marjorie Taylor Greene and why they're watching her now, which, let's be honest, probably should have happened a long time ago, we need to talk about what triggered Trump this badly to begin with. It comes from the newest reporting on Epstein, Trump's cover-up, Pam Bandy cover-up, Kash Patel's cover-up, all exposed in Ari Melber's latest report right here.
26 has started with a lot of controversy for Donald Trump's presidency. He is facing accusations of breaking the law abroad and at home, and a big legal inquiry that has taken up most of our broadcast tonight with that terrible shooting in Minneapolis. Now, I want to turn to lawmakers dialing up pressure on DOJ under Trump for breaking a different law, which is another big story that he might prefer to go away. The DOJ is breaking the Epstein law that Trump signed, the Epstein Transparency Act. They have released a tiny portion of files when they faced the original deadline, which landed in December, exactly 1 month after the humiliating loss that Trump faced when his own party rebuffed him and required him to stop hiding documents and covering up for Epstein for whatever reasons Trump and his policies had done. And now we see lawmakers in both parties saying that it is clear that Trump DOJ is breaking the law, and they're threatening criminal sanctions over that.
Typically, like with contempt, you might refer that to the DOJ, and then the DOJ never prosecutes itself. And then the problem goes away at the end of the Congress because it's contempt because they're not in compliance with the congressional subpoena, which expires at the end of Congress. This law does not expire at the end of Congress, and so they've got a real problem. The contempt that the Congress refers, they could be in jeopardy of that even after this Congress expires.
Massey is speaking in sort of the legal process there, but the bottom line about the real problem he's mentioning is a reference to that soon enough, and mind you, he's a Republican, he's saying they could be out of office, and an ensuing administration could actually hold them in contempt, and people could get in trouble. Chuck Schumer says Congress wants that list of government officials that's required and asks what they're hiding. There's also the admission from the DOJ that there's 2 million Epstein documents still under review, with 12,000 documents that reach up to over 100,000 pages released. That would actually mean they've only done 1% of the files that they say exist. Lawmakers turning to external pressure. A bipartisan group wants an audit of this process. Democratic senators also trying to put the heat specifically on Trump's chief of staff, seeking more information because she claimed in a recent interview that she's looked over these files that Trump has named but isn't doing anything awful. Trump's DOJ has said this review could take weeks more. This is after they've had 6 weeks, give or take, and claimed they'd done a review and claimed they had 200 lawyers working on this. Any normal law firm dealing with this type of investigation and request would have completed it by now. So what are they hiding?
If this were a private law firm with 5% of the resources of the DOJ, this would have been done by the deadline. The biggest problem isn't that they're missing the deadlines, it's what they're redacting. So they're citing the Privacy Act, and they're trying to pretend like that overrides a law that we just passed that says you can't withhold records to prevent embarrassment.
I always say this, and I will continue to. We have to talk about the law breaking that is happening right now. Not in an abstract context of happened, right? Like it's in the past. It is ongoing. Every day, every hour, every second that the Epstein files in full are not released because it's only, as Ariel is saying, about 1% of them out. We have to call that what it is. Ongoing obstruction of justice by everyone at the DOJ. And it really leads me to believe one thing. And it's part of the reason why Donald Trump is now following every move that Marjorie Taylor Greene makes. It's because Donald Trump wasn't just friends with Epstein. He didn't bump into him at some party in Palm Beach. That type of language makes the incidents, the assaults, the crimes sound singular, right? Sound isolated. No, Donald Trump was a part of the larger cabal. Robert Garcia yesterday stated that they're looking into the trafficking that was happening at Mar-a-Lago. The mechanics of this are much bigger and the crimes are much deeper. There is so much more to uncover, and it's why Donald Trump is so scared of Marjorie Taylor Greene speaking out and continuing to cause problems, especially when she is organizing more than just action against him, but apparently protests as well. And it's what set Donald Trump sicking the Secret Service on Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I want to get into it. This one's a doozy. White House alerted Secret Service to Marjorie Taylor Greene after Trump's dinner humiliation. The relationship between Donald Trump and one of his most fervent supporters grew so fraught, Secret Service was alerted. Marjorie Taylor Greene, MAGA's top defector, is suspected of setting up the president to be protested at a restaurant Greene suggested he visit. White House aides told Axios. The White House then tipped off the Secret Service about the alleged betrayal. Trump's visit to the popular lobbyist hangout, Joe's Seafood in Washington, D.C. in September, was hijacked by activists who shouted, "Free D.C., free Palestine," and Trump is the Hitler of our time before they were hauled out. Trump visited the joint just minutes from the White House to prove how safe D.C. streets were amid his crime crackdown in the Capitol. But his trip to the restaurant, where a tuna steak cost more than $45, became a public relations disaster. And some White House insiders believe Marjorie Taylor Greene was the mastermind. The White House reportedly told the Secret Service that Greene, one of Trump's fiercest allies, directly tipped off the anti-war activist group Code Pink that Trump would be at the restaurant. According to Axios, the claim is based on suspicion rather than evidence, though, and Greene vehemently denied it. Greene allegedly hammered the phones of the White House staffers on the day of Trump's surprise visit in a bid to confirm that the 79-year-old was definitely going to show up. As a result, Trump allegedly confirmed he would, but MTG didn't join, as expected. This struck some Trump aides as odd, Axios reported. Okay, so now the Secret Service is reportedly monitoring and possibly even following Marjorie Taylor Greene because according to White House aides, she supposedly set